It is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison,
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Come on, join me in saying, hear, hear, with what that man said. Until bankers and politicians go into prison, things aren't going to change. The man sitting in front of you, Jamie Dimon, is a perfect example of what this gentleman is talking about. It is Jamie Dimon who is responsible for the systematic destruction of our banking industry taking place now. Smaller banks merging into bigger banks, until finally we only have but a handful of banks controlling the entire financial system. Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan are going to be the people that will control the central bank's digital currency. There will be no more need for a Federal Reserve. They're two-faced and they lie to you all the time, and people never catch this stuff. But thank God you guys have me to bring this to you. Let's get into the latest things that are happening, and once again allow me to prove to you beyond a doubt why it is you should be holding on to gold and silver. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. I've spoken to a lot of you who have been buying precious metals from Miles Franklin, and I love the fact that you're doing that. But people are saying, Pimpy, when we mention your name, some of them don't know who we're talking about. Look, I understand that. I'm still kind of new over there, but this is why they gave me my own designated phone number right here, 844-874-6797, and you can use that email at info@pimpyspreciousmetals.com. Because there is a little area over there that's set aside that's aware of who I am, okay? So look, I encourage you guys to buy precious metals wherever you need to go. Of course, I would love for you to go Miles Franklin. By doing so, it helps out you, your family, Miles Franklin, as well as Pimpy. So I really do appreciate it. If you do go to buy your precious metals, you go to Miles Franklin. And if you're going to make a purchase, use that number right there or that email right there. If you're going to make a purchase larger than $10,000, make sure you email us first, because we can arrange to give you a better deal than even the website offers you. Okay? If you're going to spend more than $10,000, let us know. Back to this crook.
He mentioned Bitcoin. You said you didn't know what we were talking about. We pretty much always have some crypto conversation with you. I'm just curious because I don't think we've talked to you since.
I think all that's been a waste of time, and why you guys waste any breath on it is totally beyond me.
Because you just think the whole thing just is
going to zero?
Going to zero and it's fake?
Bitcoin itself is a hyped up fraud. It's a pet rock.
You're back to that?
Yeah,
really?
Of course, yeah.
What a difference a day made.
Yeah, what a difference a day makes. And I'll explain why here in just a moment. Let's take a look at crypto prices. Cryptos are in the red. Bitcoin down to $61,218.09. Ethereum's at $2,873.74. Solana is at $143.10. XRP still sitting there at 50 cents. Dogecoin's at 14 cents. Cardano's at 43 cents. Shiba Inu 4023. Polkadot's at $6.56. Chainlink's at $13.03. Polygon's at 65 cents. Litecoin's at $78.92. As you can see, most of them are in the red, despite the news that came out today. Although, on the other side of things, gold is now at $2,360.20 an ounce. Silver on the rise once again. It's going to be above $29 before long. $28.73 per ounce. So what the heck is going on around the world? Take a look here. Biden orders Chinese-backed cryptocurrency mines near Wilmington base closed. Well, that's going to have an effect on the crypto market, of course. But here's the thing. China has infiltrated the United States in more than one way. They've actually opened up their own police stations here in America. This shouldn't be surprising. They opened up in 2022. Right next to one of our military bases. You know, so they could spy on us. But you can tell right now the Biden administration is going through and cleaning up all kinds of crap before Trump gets into office. And this is an opportunity for Biden to all of a sudden look like he's tough against China all of a sudden. Raising tariffs, closing a crypto mining company that's right near our military base. Of course, anytime you're closing down large crypto mining companies, it is going to have an effect on the crypto market. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, why does China have a crypto mining company here in America? Because remember, China banned Bitcoin mining and became the world's #2 Bitcoin miner. The 2021 Bitcoin mining exodus has left underground miners thriving to push China's hash rate share near the top. So when China supposedly banned crypto mining, well, what the hell happened? Most of them came here to the United States. And most of them are still owned and controlled by China. So why not just keep the mining companies over there in China? Well, that's a good question. Because guess what these mining companies were doing? They were taking a toll on their resources, electricity and water. So why the hell would they use up their electricity, ruin their water sources, when they could just come over here to America and use up our stuff? Mining is expensive. It's not just electricity. Bitcoin mines burn through a lot of water as well. So when you see our cost of energy going up and they try to tell us, oh, it's because of climate change, well, there you go. Now, I'm not saying that cryptocurrencies are solely responsible for wasting our resources. I mean, there are other things out there. But make no doubt about it, cryptocurrencies contribute to a large portion of the energy that we use here, including the electricity and water. So bravo to China for being smart enough to say, hey, look, we're going to ban crypto mining over here. And it's smart enough to move it into the United States. Coming over here, making it look like an American company controlled by China, use up our resources. So yeah, it is taking a little bit of a hit on the crypto market. GameStop stock gained more than 60% as meme stock market returns with a vengeance. I saw this, I thought, cool, power to the people. And why are all these things happening? There seems to be a distraction away from the gold-silver market, despite the demand for both gold and silver. Why are they trying so hard to bring our attention back over to stuff like the GameStop stock or even cryptocurrencies? This is just my opinion. These are distractions trying to keep you away from where your money should be, which is in sound, safe money, gold and silver. So yeah, we remember Jamie Dimon talking about cryptocurrencies or crap. Bitcoin will never become a currency. Look at JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon People over there in the Dinar community love this guy. Oh, he's going to be the savior of Iraq. He's going to bring the Iraqi currency up so valuable. Blah, blah, blah. It's all crap. You don't want these devils over in your country. I keep telling you guys this. So what did Jamie Dimon say? Bitcoin is a fraud. There's no hope for Bitcoin as a currency. Remember that? This was in April of 2024. April the 20th. 24 days later, something happened. JP Morgan and Rothchild now own your Bitcoins. What can you learn from it? They're now invested into cryptocurrencies. So that just goes to show you just how two-faced and full of crap these people are. And they are in charge of our financial institutions. Telling us 1 month that cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin is a fraud, is a scam, stay away from it. Literally 24 days later, coming out and we're seeing that they own Bitcoin. The 13F filings are coming in before May 15th deadline. So JP Morgan has 760,000 in Bitcoin ETF, the first largest bank in America. Wells Fargo has 143,000, fourth largest bank in America. US Bank has 14 million. PNC Bank has 10 million. These are ETFs. William Blair, an investment bank, has 142 billion and 6 million is in Bitcoin. BlackRock has 5.5 million in Bitcoin. One of the Rothschild family's banks now has 3.6 million in Bitcoin. So way back when cryptocurrencies first came out, they were talking about staying away from the evil bankers. Now they're all bed buddies with the same evil bankers that this was supposed to protect you from. I mean, come on. You have the Rothschild family now invested into Bitcoin. Something is going on. Like I said, there's a reason why I don't trust cryptocurrencies. But when I see these wicked people jumping into cryptocurrencies, that's definitely a red flag to me. And I know there's some of you out there, you're all excited. You're like, yay, this makes it mainstream. You're all excited about these bankers becoming bed buddies with you. Yay. You know, the same evil people we're supposed to stay away from. Ranking by total managed assets under management. These are all crypto fund managers. Look at all of them out there now. $85 trillion is invested into cryptos. And for you crypto people, I know you're excited about it and you think that's a good thing. That's like being invested into chickens because you know they're going to be really valuable. And all of a sudden you get excited because you found out that companies controlled by the wolves are also invested into your chicken farms. Well, today Biden came out saying that he was going to start raising tariffs on China imports. Which is funny because if you're not paying attention to what's going on, as we get into the election year, all of a sudden, Biden is implementing the same policies that Trump created, putting it underneath a different name and taking ownership of it. The border crisis, now they're claiming that they should stay over in Mexico like Trump had. And they're saying because of us, we're going to implement a program that keeps the migrants over there in Mexico until their court date. Anyways, the tariffs on China causing a trade war, and everybody said because Trump was racist and he was wrong, now all of a sudden Biden is raising tariffs. Let's listen in.
Joining us now, he's senior analyst at Trade Nation. David, thank you for speaking with us. Just want to get a sense of your take. Now, the first cut of what we saw was a 50% tariff hike on Chinese semiconductors from America. Give us context. How big a deal is this? What will be the impact?
Well, it's a very big hike, and we've seen this big hike on semiconductors. That's been one of the main features. Also on EVs, another main feature of the tariff increases, and on a lot of things, a lot of other materials as well. But of course, semiconductors are such an incredibly important part of what's been going on with manufacturing processes. They're going into everything, and specifically, of course, most importantly, in what's ahead for us with generative AI. So I think this is that's quite a targeted tariff on a very specific area. It's something that the Chinese need. There's a lot of technological stuff that the US has got, which China hasn't.
U.S. will raise levels on pork cranes and medical products. Biden likes to brag at how they took insulin and lowered the price. Yay, we did one small thing. Well, Trump lowered the prices as well, but not just on insulin, on medicines across the board, allowing people to shop in different locations for cheaper medicine until Biden got in office and changed that. So they took credit for lower your insulin prices. But what do you think this is going to happen when China makes most all of our medicines? So they want to raise the levies on pork cranes and medical products. What do you think is going to happen to your medical cost? By the time these kick in, Trump will win the election and be in office, and the cost of medicines are going to take off, and they're going to try to blame Trump for it. You can see right here, they are levying medicines. The cost of medicines are going to go up.
Yet, although it could soon have. But yes, I mean, I think semiconductors is quite an important element of this tariff package from Joe Biden.
What does it mean in terms of impact for China, for the US, and for emerging nations like India?
Well, it's a difficult one to judge. I mean, you could think about what President Biden is doing at the moment is a way of countering what would probably happen anyway should Donald Trump get in. So in some respects, it seems like he's playing to his home base and saying that, yes, I mean, if we look just at the EV market in particular, it's quite apparent that Chinese production is far more than can be absorbed by the domestic market on its own. And so it seems very likely that China is going to want to sell those EVs abroad. Now, the fact is that the US feels that China has, it's got the way it goes about building those EVs, the fact that it subsidizes them to such a great extent that is unfair competition. It's not a level playing field. And
here are the list of items that tariffs are going to increase on. Semiconductors, which we don't make here really ourselves. There's a shortage of them anyways. Batteries, solar cells, what happened to we're all about green energy? Critical minerals, stuff that we use to guide our missiles. Is it me or does the Democrats seem to be creating issues that hurt the country more than help? Moves like this only prove my point.
Therefore, tariffs are warranted. And you can see the argument, and certainly you have the likes of Elon Musk and other people in the US who are manufacturers of EVs sort of saying, look, this is going to destroy our domestic EV market. So we do need some kind of protection. But yes, it does have implications for elsewhere because the US has not just targeted the EV market, but it has looked to place tariffs on a lot of other things that it sends to China. Some of those are going to be significant, some of those will not be so. But it is a broad band of tariffs, and I think it sends a message in terms of intent from the present US administration to China and possibly to elsewhere in the world as well.
So Elon Musk is right. It's going to hurt American companies that make electric vehicles. I can't help but feel that that's definitely the agenda. Affect American companies. More layoffs are happening despite the so-called job numbers that Biden is touting. They're fake, by the way. And I'll give you more proof that the Democrats do not care about our economy. Does it make sense with high inflation, high unemployment, policies by the Democrats? They're meant to sound good and make you feel like they're doing something good for the people, but that's never the case. California's new $20 fast food workers minimum wage. Yeah, they're fighting for the little people. Sure, it sounds good that minimum wage is up to $20 an hour. What do they say? We want them to have dignity. The cost of living is too high. Well, the cost of living is too high because of your policies. Anyways, what were the repercussions of raising minimum wage to $20 an hour, mostly affecting the fast food industry? First of all, fast food industries have a very thin profit margin, 5 to 8%. When you raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour, you squeeze that profit margin. And when you squeeze that profit margins, the owner is forced to do two things. One is create a hamburger that costs $20 per hamburger. Prices at these fast food chains increased the most in the past 10 years. I like how they put in the past 10 years. Why don't you just tell us the truth? The vast majority of it happened once you increase the minimum wage to $20 an hour. The inflation on McDonald's food, 100%. Popeyes is up 86%. Taco Bell, 81%. Chipotle, 75%. So on and so forth. This is how much their prices increased because we went to $20 an hour for minimum wage. But this isn't the only thing it affects. Jobs. They're trying to tell us they care about the jobs. California loses nearly 10,000 fast food jobs after $20 minimum wage signed last fall. So they have to lay people off, or they can't afford to run a business. So you got less people doing more work. Sure, they're getting $20 an hour, but you have more people out of work. And that puts a lot of stress on us who pay into the tax system, and people are being forced to collect unemployment insurance, get welfare. Do you see how this works yet? So sure, there are a lot of jobs that are being lost, but not just jobs that are being lost. Businesses are closing everywhere. Meet Metal Leo on YouTube. He started creating interesting videos of cities in California. He went to all these cities: Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, different parts of Los Angeles, Hollywood, San Francisco, the Presidio, Oakland, San Francisco, the Mission District, Sacramento, walking up and down inside the cities, showing you all of the businesses that have closed. Look at, even the police departments have been closed down. And I'm not talking about just a couple of businesses. I'm talking about entire blocks of businesses gone. Even hotels are closed down as well. I will leave the link for you to go to this video and you'll see all of the closures. Entire cities look like ghost towns. Downtown LA, all shut down, closed. And they're going to say, oh, it's because of the pandemic. No. This was a strategy all along. And the policies that are being implemented hurt these businesses. They don't help them. The Federal Reserve is insolvent. They're bankrupt. They're not going to tell you that, but they are. That's why I keep warning people, you better have your money out of the bank, because they're going to take the money saying it's for the betterment of the country. Have it into gold and silver, because the dollar value, it is going to be gone. So don't get caught in that trap. Have your money into gold and silver. I don't just say that because I want you to go to Miles Franklin. You can go to any gold and silver place. Although I prefer you to go to Miles Franklin, I'm saying just get into gold and silver however way you want to do it. But be very careful about which precious metals you buy, because you don't want this to happen to you.
好。
短期也是看不出来的。
17000我买了一个铁丝头，
假的听声音啊！
但是这个确定是假的哦。
真的声音啊！
等一下哈，这里面就是铁吗？
This isn't the first time that China's done this. They export their gold to other countries, and then you find out that they've dipped iron or lead into real gold, so they can pass the test sometimes. But there's something about the precious metal, it doesn't sound right. So I would not be buying any precious metals from China. A lot of the bullion dealers here in America sell precious metals that come from China. I would just be careful if I was you. China was busted for the same thing, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago they pulled this stunt. Watch what they do.
There's something really nasty hidden inside of the gold bars in China. And it's a terrible tragedy for the victims, but it's a terrible tragedy for the entire country at this point. It's called 0.999 gold, or as you may know it, 24 karat gold. The Chinese government is buying up all of the gold, and that has caused people to follow suit. And in their mad rush, it leaves them victim to horrific scamming rings.
Did you see that? They took some cheap jewelry there, and then they dip it into real gold so it can pass a lot of these shallow tests that are being done on precious metals. So just be careful when you're buying your gold and silver. That's why I say go to a place that's trusted like Miles Franklin. Anyways, that's it for now. I look forward to your comments. I will get back at you later. I'm out.